I, Luke, send a message to all those that follow our Lord Jesus Christ. There is a terrible evil in the world. Darkness is spreading. You are suffering persecution. Faith is being tested. I know you question the way. To bring hope, to bring light into this present darkness, and to remind us all how God changed a hateful man who will change the history of the world. Throne is stained with the blood of our brothers and sisters.
No! These people are desperate. We're the only light left in the city.
I cannot fix their faith.
You can inspire their faith.
You risk people looking to me for Christ.
The day I heard you preach, my God, I saw Christ in you.
The men to overthrow Rome.
To what end?
Justice.
Want revenge?
No!
Why not?
Love is the only way.
Die today. This world doesn't know a thing about love.
Where sin abounds, grace abounds more.
Revenge?
No!
Why not?
Love is the only way.
The world doesn't know a thing about love.
Someone asked me, do you know how many kids get trafficked in the United States in a year? Well, it's estimated at 15,000 to 50,000 women and children are forced into sexual slavery right here in the United States every year. And the number, the total, it varies in doubles. And here's a fact for you. The United States ranks as one of the worst countries in the world for human trafficking. Guess how many? 199,000 incidents happen every year right here in the United States of this great America. And you might be asking, well, where is child trafficking in the United States? Where is it the worst? Well, in the United States, human trafficking tends to occur around international areas, travel, and with large immigrant population. Anywhere where there's a large population of immigrants, and notably in California, Texas, and Georgia. Those trafficked children, well, it includes young children, teenagers, men, women, and those victims can be domestic citizens and foreign in nationality. And the state that has the highest child trafficking rate, you guessed it, California. Just in 2021 alone, California witnessed the largest number of human trafficking cases, making it the worst state for human trafficking. And particularly Los Angeles. Yeah, I said it right. Los Angeles is regarded as the highest intensity child exploitation area in California. Child trafficking, sadly, is so common, it estimates at 27.6 million victims worldwide. Okay? At any given time, it says, human traffickers prey on people of all ages. My age, your age, your children's, of all backgrounds, all nationalities, and they exploit them. It doesn't matter, for profit. How sad is that? They exploit your children, your mother, your sister, your brother, for monetary gain. And you might be wondering, when did this all start? Well, honey, this been going on and on and on and on and on before your mother was born, before your mother's mothers was born, before your mother's mothers was born. Like in the 16th century. And I'll leave it there with the European nations, etc. Do you want to hear what they go through when they are sex trafficking? The actual buyer, because they buy them for money. They buy them. The buyer is directly exploiting the child's vulnerability by offering them money and food, and some kid might be a runaway, so they offer them a place to stay, and the place might be really nice looking. In exchange for sexual exploitation. And the child sex trafficking can be devastating, of course, immediately, and will have a long-term effect, including their health, psychological, physical trauma, because they hurt them, they hit them, and sometimes even death. This is a real true thing. And the sad part is, it's not slowing down. Sex trafficking is on an all-time rise all over this world. And so they made it a business. These bad people, our children are a business for them, to the point where they profit $975 million in their pocket every year. And that's one individual. You want to know how they lure our children? They provide basic survival needs. They manipulate the victim and tell them, oh, we have money, we're going to buy your family or you a car. They use threats, they use force, they coerce them. And all this is a fact. This is what happens to our victims. They threaten their lives and threaten their family. They threaten to take maybe their house. They might say, well, I'm a big-time lawyer. We could take your house and your family will be homeless. And even worse, that I don't care to say on here. Sexual exploitation and forced labor, Timu, is one of the most common human trafficking. So I'm going to end this here. They say that the main reason, as if there should be a reason for human trafficking, the trafficking people, the pedophiles, the sex slave people, they look for people who are easy targets for a variety of reasons. Homeless, don't get along with your parents, dropped out of school, at a dead-end job, no self-esteem, low self-esteem, suicidal, including psychological and emotional, just being vulnerable, economic hardships, and no safety net, no support system. Without being completely expressive, you might ask, well, what do they do to the children when they traffic them? Sometimes they're sold by their families. their own family, which may be living in poverty, will sell them for some change. I'm not gonna go through the rest of this. I'm not. And just so you know, boys are trafficked too. 27% of the victims are boys globally. But the good news is God is tired, and so are we. And there is a fight against child trafficking. It's called Save Our Children. And it has already begun. And one of our main sources of saving our children, you can see a glimpse of that will define and explain and show you that our children are really being saved. Is a movie that debuted July 4th. Well, I'm told technically July 3rd, 2023. And I urge you to go out and see this movie. And again, if you don't have the resources, we have a group of wonderful people all over the world. They're called Angel Studios. So if you go to angelstudio.com, you will be able to get how many ever number of tickets that you need. If it's 8 people in your family, you tell them you need 8 tickets. And please take what you need. Don't try to get some for 20 people down the road and you're going to call the whole family reunion. Get what you need. Angelstudio.com. If you log on there, you'll be able to get free tickets for the movie Sound of Freedom, which is still in theaters right now. I'm going to give my take and express my feelings on it when I went. I went on the debut here on July 4th. That's where I spent my July 4th, most of it. And it was very informative. If you didn't see my video, please go check it out. But go see The Sound of Freedom. Listen to the name. Go see Sound of Freedom, because there is a fight against child trafficking. And we are fighting against this. Shout out to Jim Caviezel. Shout out to Juan O'Savin. Shout out to President Trump. Shout out to our military. Shout out to you. In days, weeks, months, and years to come, this will be no more.
How many pedophiles you got?
288.
How many kids you found?
It is the fastest growing international crime network that the world has ever seen. It is the fastest growing international crime network that the world has ever seen. It has already passed the illegal arms trade, and soon it's gonna pass the drug trade. And soon it's gonna pass the drug trade. Because you can sell a bag of cocaine one time with a child 5 to 10 times a day.
So get out and go see this very necessary, vital, urgent movie, The Sound of Freedom. I went and seen it, and I want to shout out our president. There's our flag. I want to shout out to the great Lord above, our Jesus Christ, the Son of the everlasting. He gave us his love in the book of John 3:16. And for that reason, God chose a few good men. Let us be reminded that our children are not for sale. God is all up in this, because there's something that you need to remember. July 4th, 2023. Where we go one, we go all. And the most important thing that we need to remember is this.
God's children are not for sale.
Major operator. It's all rebel territory. No one goes in. Not the army, not the police, not us.
What if this was your daughter? What if this was your daughter?
There's no Marine unit coming.
You're on your own. This job tears you to pieces. You're on your own. This job tears you to pieces. And this is my one chance to put those pieces back together.